stand on the side of Naga Esports. And for Empire X, that's going to be Poppy and Echo being banned. So a lot of target bans onto Suzaku here. He is a very good Poppy and Echo player. So a lot of target bans going onto him. Meanwhile, Morgana, Twitch, and Vayne. So a lot of these targeted onto Gen V, who we know is definitely the main carry of Acclaim Empire X. So wise to take away these picks from him. I'm actually personally surprised that Zac wasn't banned because Tamsu plays that guy all the time. And I actually have some doubts about Tamsu's jungle pool because kasi isipin mo, I mean, for example, if a certain player is very good at a certain champion, what else can he play? Because if Naga bans Zac, what else would Tamsu have to play? I'm actually curious if he can play. Oh!
Well, he's going to bring out a Graves, so what else can he play? Bam!
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it'll be interesting to see if Tamsu can use other junglers aside from Zac as well, because in the past 2 games he played Zac twice. So I'm excited to see if he can play more or have more variety in his playstyle. Because playing Zac, you're more of a utility type jungler. Playing Graves, you become more AD carry like, especially being ranged and everything. Up with the early pressure. I wonder if he can pull off that as well. Kindred being locked in immediately for Naga Esports for Kulit, which he also did play the last time when they played against G-Hub. Then Lulu being locked in as well. I believe that's going to be either for Calculated or Sun Z, who has also played Lulu in support.
Okay, so now there is the lock-in for that server. Lots of mobility with the ultimate, of course, going to help Colette in that jungle Kindred, reposition. And we do know that with the Lamb's Respite being more of being changed, wherein you can only use it for yourself, or like you can only place it where you are.
Yes. Center. You are the center.
This mobility tool for Fade will actually allow him to, be defensive for his team, as well as when they try to engage, for a faster dancing arrows with the Q of the Kindred.
That's true. So a lot of movement speed and backline survivability. Zyra, yes! Thank you! New champion, and they disconnected.
Yeah!
But the Zyra appeared. That's what's important to me. I was just about to say, I was telling myself, as I was reading the patch, I was like, okay, what do I want to say to the viewers? First, I want to say that I want to see Zyra in competitive play because Pumandu. Age. I mean,
wrong pick Zyra.
No! No.
Oh,
okay,
man.
we just saw the chat between the 2 teams, and apparently Zyra was a wrong pick, and so PGS just decided to break my heart in public in front of all of you.
Oh well, man. But
my day's ruined. Pretty much just like that.
Let's just get out of here. Yeah. I'm kidding. we'll have another day for Zyra.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, in solo queue lists, Zyra's actually gone up in terms of support. She's very strong, especially when you're up against tanky supports like Braum, for example, or Alistar. They're not very mobile, so it's very easy to land the root on them and to put down a lot of harass, especially with her new passive of the
Plus,
Seas.
the harass of Zyra isn't actually, stopped by the Unbreakable with the Q.
That's
it's popping up.
It's really painful, but we won't be seeing Zyra today. Sadly, my dreams will be broken today and fulfilled another day. We're seeing Maokai again, who's probably going to be taking the top lane right now for Suzaku. So it's quite weird because I would actually have preferred to ban Maokai over Echo or Poppy because Maokai honestly is just very strong. He is going to be nerfed actually in patch 6.11, but we'll be seeing him again for this game.
Though I think they're gonna prefer the brick wall playstyle of Maokai rather than the the mobility heavy, and then when everything gets a bit too sticky or messy, just use your Chrono Break out with the Echo. But Keeper's Verdict actually is pretty nice, so I guess that Poppy ban is justified here for Empire X.
Definitely, since he was very successful on him even in the last split.
And Poppy is the perfect champion to counter dashes.
Yeah,
rather.
That's true. Though, it won't be any dashes here for our AD carry because that might be a jinx for Gen V. Since Twitch and Vayne were taken away, we're gonna see Gen V finally, iba ng AD carry yung gagamitin niya aside from Vayne and Twitch. We'll see if it can be successful on this champion too. It's also a hard carry. So again, Empire X, surrounding themselves with champions that can support that jinx. They have the Shen to protect them with the shield, with the taunt. You have the Lulu as well with the wild growth and everything. And then you've got 2 damage dealers already in the form of Graves and Jinx. So we're only waiting for their either mid lane or support now.
True that. And of course, with the addition of these Graves, Naga here, they cannot only, well, focus on Gen because if Damsu does get fed on that Graves or if he has enough itemizations to make him a threat, and he gets free hits, Graves deals AoE damage all throughout the board, so they have to respect that one. But Naga here looking to go for a classic Naga lineup. Look at that.
So even with Daigo gone, you know, his legend remains with the team. We're gonna be seeing the Emperor.
That's the title of the matchup right now. This best of 2 series is preserving a legacy. And now they're preserving, you know, Daigo's
preserve
Azir.
the Emperor's rule. He remains present in Naga.
You know Naga should change their logo to
freaking Azir.
Yeah, to freaking Azir.
Or like a chicken or something instead of that Hydra looking thing. Just make it the Emperor, guys. Make it a green or teal looking Emperor, and that's your team right there.
True that, man.
It's gonna be Braum locked in as well. So Shurima is definitely present in this game along with Braum. So we're seeing a very siege heavy composition here. You have a lot of dive potential. You have a lot of siege potential because you have wave clear from the Sivir as well as the Azir. You guys have pretty good, again, tower diving potential because you have the Lamb's Respite. You have the Unbreakable from Braum as well, and then the dive potential from Maokai, of course, with his roots. So a lot of siege potential, and they're pretty strong. As you can see throughout most of the stages of the game, you've got pretty good early damage coming in from the Sivir, and then Kindred and Azir will start to scale. So as long as you can keep or maybe distract AEX in this bot lane, you know, keep the attention there, as well as the TP plays coming in from Suzaku, then that gives time for Azir and Kindred to scale into that late game.
Yeah, as for the side of AEX here, look at this. It's gonna be a top lane Shen and calculated on a mid lane LeBlanc. So lots of assassination potential here with an immediate respond coming out of this double teleport Shen with the, of course, with the Stand United and that summer spell.
Yeah, so I mean, calculated, like we said before, hindi siya bago sa champion na to. LeBlanc, he has used it before and he has served as that, you know, mainly distraction and really an assassin. Kasi pag pinanood nyo yung mga games before, halimbawa, yung Empire X, when they played in their previous game, I believe that was against LLP, you know, the Liga Pilipinas, Calculated would always find a way to make it to the back line and delete the AD carry, which is, of course, the job of a LeBlanc or a Zed or any assassin like that. You want to find certain angles, make it to the back line, and delete the main damage dealer before they can even do anything in a team fight. So Calculated, definitely quite skilled in LeBlanc in team fights. However, I do have doubts about Calculated in the laning phase because when we saw them before... Oh wait, first, before anything, tignan po natin mga pogi players natin for this day. That's gonna be... Yeah, we did see sila Tamsu. This is the jungler for Empire X versus jungler Kulit from
Calculated
Naga.
and Fade.
Yeah, for the mid lane from... Oh, and then we're gonna have ADC. That's gonna be Gen V, of course, of Empire X versus Luxuria of Naga Esports.
And last but not the least, it's going to be the supports with Sunzi as well as Akarane.
Yes, so we have a lot of players today. And again, keep in mind, Naga only have 1 point. I can't stress that enough. We're really... Well, I'm sure they are as well, frustrated that they're only in 1 point right now and they're really hungry. They got disqualified in game 1 as well. So this will be the first and last game, sadly, of the day because IPT and Mineski's match will be postponed due to some difficulties. So we did see our players and we did see the compositions. Right now, who would you bet on if you were going to think to win? Just based on the compositions, of course.
Based on the compositions, I would probably go for Naga here.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Yeah. So just to reason out, nakita natin yung mga composition. So for Naga Esports, it actually looks like a very well-built composition. You have good engage, you have the Sivir and the Maokai to start everything out. You've got that ult, you've got the speed boost. Maokai can easily land a root onto any of the targets, and then you've got some nice peel as well coming in from Braum, so he can use his ult as well as Unbreakable. You have the Lamb's Respite, so a lot of survivability and damage coming in from this team as well with Azir on the team. On the side of Empire X, I guess the reason I have doubts is because aside from Lulu, there's not a lot of peel to be provided for Gen B. So, of course, sa lahat ng mga AD carry dyan, what we hate the most is to have all of these opponents up in our face with no one to protect us. So Alistar is not in this game. So aside from Wild Growth and the taunt from Shen, which isn't exactly reliable to peel away targets, it's going to be very difficult for Gen B to be able to stay relevant in team fights. Though, the main winning point, I guess, for Empire X here is to get this LeBlanc and this Grave snowballing. You know, as long as Gen V can farm, Gen V is totally fine in the laning phase. He has no problems. It's really more of Calculated and Tamsu. You know, Tamsu is always the driving force of Empire X. All of their proactive moves, Tamsu is always the one who starts it. So if Tamsu and Calculated can snowball, you know, from this early to mid game and shut down Gen V, I mean, shut down Gen V, wait, that's her teammate, no. Shut down Sila Luxuria, for example, in Fade, then I can imagine they would really make it into late game. However, I would also side with you that I think I'm a bit more confident about Naga Esports composition only. But as the teams are, there are a lot of doubts because remember, Naga Esports 1 point, Empire X 5. So Empire X, they've been around for a long time. They have built their synergy over the years. So things are still a bit sketchy right now for Naga.
True, and now we're just gonna have to wait just a little bit more, guys, as we are on the loading screen. It's now the... Well, again, Naga are looking to come back from this one. They only have one chance to get 2 points and then, you know, just find that 1 point and look to get more games from possibly a momentum boost from a win.
Yeah, that's true.
And AEX, they're actually on a safer point right now with 5 points being, of course, the default from Game 1 against Naga. But still, they cannot be too comfortable. They have to keep striding or else be close to, you know, the relegation
Ika nga
side.
nila, wag kampante. Wag kampante. They always have to strive their best because even though Empire X has 5 points, remember that the first placer is 10, and the next is 8, and the next is 7. So they really still do need to try and surpass Meneski, who are at 6 points right now. They need to make sure that they win. Actually, if they win this next game, they're going to surpass Meneski already. So from 4 points, that's 3 points additional. So they'll be at 7. They pass Meneski and kind of stay around the playoffs area because only the top 4 teams from the Pro Gaming Series will be making it to Rampage, which will be happening next month, guys. So do make sure
July
to watch out because
23.
the thing that makes Rampage the most interesting is not it's not only the day itself, but it's the journey that the teams go through to make it to that spot. So again, we are at Game 2. This is Week 5 of the Pro Gaming Series, the match between Naga Esports and Acclaim Empire X. Naga with 1 point so far and Empire X with 5. This is going to be Game 2 because Naga were disqualified from Game 1 due to being not on time.
All right, so welcome to the Summer's Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching again the Pro Gaming Series 2016 Summer Split, brought to you by our official energy drink, that's Bacchus. Drive your energy. And now it's going to be on the blue side, Naga in the top lane. Suzuku will be our Maokai in the jungle. Colette shall be our Kindred in the mid lane. Fade will be preserving the legacy of Daigo on that Azir, and in the bottom lane duo will be his descendant Luxuria playing that Sivir and his support Akarain with the unbreakable Braum.
Yes, meanwhile on the red side there's going to be Acclaim Empire X top lane, Cannon on Shen, Tamsu in the jungle with Graves, Calculated in the mid lane with LeBlanc, and for the bot lane there's going to be Gen V and Sun Z with Jinx and Lulu. Right, so so we're gonna be starting the game in just a bit, and so the thing about these recent games is that
no, it's not ours, man. Okay.
Oh yeah,
it's a different feed, I guess.
All right, so for the early game, medyo nag-iba na po yung early game natin kasi I'm sure as you've all noticed, things have really changed up, especially in competitive. I mean, lane swaps, for example, they still do happen, but not really exactly as they used to because, again, the turrets did get buffed. Double jungling was nerfed because the top lane and jungler EXP share has also been nerfed as well. They really need to make an effort to share the creeps properly and probably give more to the top laner if he doesn't want to sacrifice anything when he returns to lane. So I can imagine we probably won't be seeing a lane swap in this game.
Yeah, plus there is, of course, the new objectives right now, which is the Change Dragon.
The dragon.
So, you know, you don't really get anything from lane swaps. Actually, yeah, you can get something from lane swaps other than, you know, at least a better matchup when you're against a solo top laner. But the problem is you're giving too much control for your, you know, your opposite duo bottom lane to get that initial dragon buff, which is super important, especially when it complements your team comp so well. Especially if it's either the Earth Elemental or the Fire Elemental, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I just call them like that because, you know, Avatar.
The thing about bot lane right now is, again, like you said, they want to have control over that dragon. And one of the most important dragons, actually, is going to spawn first. That's the Mountain Drake. So I was reading a couple of articles. I believe Spawn Lol, if you guys know him from LPL, he did make an article about which dragon is the strongest among the 4. And according to him, the arrangement was that's going to be the Mountain Drake, which is the most important, followed by Infernal, Ocean, and then Cloud. So the reasoning mainly Cloud, the movement speed, while it's a pretty nice bonus, it's not something you really prioritize, so you don't really feel the effects that much. Ocean Drake is quite nice as well, but regen, remember, that's out of combat regen. So if you guys are continuously poked, then you won't really feel the effects of the regen as well, so it's not that much. But Infernal and Mountain Drake, these by far are the most impactful. Infernal, I mean, who wouldn't want additional damage, right, on both AB and AD, so that's really convenient for the teams. And then Mountain Drake, that's probably one of the most significant. You get true damage on turrets, on objectives, as well as epic monsters, meaning all of your future dragons, Rift Heralds, and Barons will be much easier to take because of the additional true damage. So that really helps you to snowball.
And what this branches out for you is that you have to worry less about your opponents actually responding to how you go for those objectives because you get them really fast.
Yes, exactly. So faster objective time, and as we all know, well, except for the kill-hungry monsters out there, objectives really are what really help you win the game. While kills do count as objectives, that's why Infernal Drake helps. It's more important for you to be able to secure, you know, those turrets and those dragons and barons, and the Mountain Drake is the one that really helps with that. So we'll see which of the teams between Naga and Empire X will be able to secure this first dragon. And you know, to be honest, that Mountain Drake would be really painful if it went into Naga's hands because they are a siege composition. Azir and Sivir would make really quick work of those turrets if they're able to get that Mountain Drake.
Look at this though in the bottom lane. AEX making it very difficult for Luxuria to actually get CS without being harassed. If it's not Sun Z putting out the Glitter Lance, it's the rockets coming out of Genvi right in his face.
Yeah,
look at that
true.
damage.
And Akarain, you know, he is a tank, but he's not exactly tanky at the moment, so he would have quite a difficult time to, you know, negate the damage coming from Lulu and Genvi. So actually, when I watched the previous game of Naga, I believe that was against G-Hub, Luxuria actually also had quite a difficult time in the laning phase when he wasn't coupled with a sustained support, for example, like Nami. You know, especially with the range of someone like Caitlyn or of Jinx. It's very hard to lane against these guys when you don't have sustain because of the range advantage.
True that. And now there's actually gonna be pings on this riverside as they spot out Colette here on that Kindred. Will he be actually sandwiched in that area? I have to check, but he does have the support of Akarain, so he'll be able to run away from that one scot-free. But in the bottom lane, look at that harass here onto Luxuria with the fadeaway Glitter Lance coming out of Sun Z. He's gonna say to himself, I'm not just a girl or a fairy pixie on this bottom lane, but here's the 3v1 here. As Sun Z gets caught out, there's the stun connecting onto him, and first blood gonna be given onto the hands of Colette. As in the top lane, no ganks just yet. Tanzu actually looks to go to that bottom lane though, but not enough time for him to actually respond.
Yeah, Colette was already there way too quickly. I mean, for one, Empire X should have been careful already at that point. They already saw Colette was in that area when he was walking through the river, so they should have been a bit more cautious when that happened. Ooh, calculated actually. Also almost going down.
Yeah, and he's the one with the Ignite here. But in the top lane, it's going to be Cannon as well. Suzaku duking it out. Suzaku going to be conceding that one as he tries to run away from Cannon with full or almost full energy bar there. He has plenty of resources to use for his skills.
Yeah, so again, you know, a bit of a worry right now for Empire X in their laning phase. I mean, Genvi is usually completely fine. I think it was just a lack of awareness in that gank because they weren't expecting Colette to come from the bush. Although I still think that that's not really an excuse because they saw them in the area.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you probably wait around 10 seconds to 15 seconds to assume he recalled. And then if you don't see him, that's when you can assume that, okay, all right, he's not there. We can go back to or resume the usual laning phase. But they did give up first blood and sino pa, kay Kulit pa. So that does help Kindred, you know, to scale better towards that late game.
Yeah, and
become
get
the monster that we know that he and she is.
Get that initial Blood Razor out and pumping already.
Yep,
just poking at your opponents.
Meanwhile, Calculated almost dying, and that's a LeBlanc against an Azir. That's something you don't usually expect. So, gaya na sinabi ko kanina, medyo I was a bit worried about Calculated in his laning phase. Usually, LeBlanc is the one dominating the Azir, but you rarely see situations where the Azir is the one that's forcing, you know, the other mid lane champion to run away. So they did hit level 6 just now.
He's gonna go in with the combo, hits the Ethereal Chains right there, but Fade still has his ultimate as well as that barrier. There's the second Sigil of Malice, but I don't think Calculated has his Mimic up back just yet. He did have his Ignite, but didn't want to expend it for the meantime. Right here, Tamsu spotting out that pink ward, and Colette not anywhere near that mid lane, so 2v2 matchup will not happen. But Calculated as well, making it, you know, some hurt onto Fade in that mid-side area.
Yeah, so the question is, magagamit ba ni Kulit efficiently yung first blood na yun? Because as we can see, even though... Oh, very close.
Okay.
Yeah, but even with that
side
first,
step.
yeah, even with that first blood, we're not exactly seeing, you know, huge leads. The gold is actually very close, and the CS is very close across the board for most of the lanes, aside from the bot lane, where we see Luxury is having a bit of a hard time. But aside from that, there's not really a significant lead to be had yet. So whether Kulit will be able to use that first blood effectively or not, you know, remains to be seen. But he does have, or he does carry a lot of experience with him, you know, especially being a part of Mineski before and winning Rampage last year. You know, so he does have a lot of experience with him, and we'll see if he'll be able to use that first blood well.
Speaking of Rampages, look at this domination in the bottom lane for Genvi as well as Sun Z. Look at that. Akarane, he has only a steel chair, or is that even a steel chair or like a wooden chair for, you know, luchadors?
Pretty sure that's a steel chair. It would be kind of awkward to bring in a wooden chair in a wrestling match. Just not very fearful compared to a steel chair. Why hit you with this wooden thing? Yeah, it's not very scary.
Dude, if you were hit by a wooden chair, it would still hurt.
Yeah, but like, okay, imagine if someone saying "ow" to a wooden chair and a steel chair. Like with a wooden chair, it's like, "Ow, hey, that hurt." The steel chair's like, "Ow," you know.
Dude, dos por dos, man. That's like, it's like how they built that chair. But
it just makes more sense for it to be a steel chair on this guy, though. Like, you know, wrestler.
I'll concede to that one. But in the mid lane, it looks like Fade is conceding to Calculated right now from the damage. I mean, yeah, we saw Fade like 2 minutes ago, just you know, out-dueling Calculated, but now that Calculated has gotten himself some items and, you know, more ranks into his skills, faster cooldowns, he is now being able to at least, you know, put the hurt onto Fade here. We still have to see if these junglers actually rotate into the mid lane, make something for their mid laners, because this is where we'll see the rotations coming from. When they get a kill there, it's going to be possibly a mid lane siege or a start for this Earth Elemental Dragon. Because this is 6.10, Azir's W, Arise, still does impact on towers.
Yeah, so it still does the same damage as before, although for the Azir mains like myself, we are sad to see that nerf coming in for 6.11, but
you're going to be salty at that one.
Yeah, I will.
Then NACL is real.
Let's take this patch, you know, embrace it while it lasts.
Savor it.
Before the next patch comes in. The mark being pinged right now, but Kindred is quite far, although he is approaching. So we'll see if
how many stacks does Kindred have already on her passive? Oh, wait, Tamsu. Okay, gets spotted out there.
Yeah, so no mark for him.
No harm.
Yeah. So that's going to be still a passive start. I mean, like we said earlier, kailangan pa rin mag-scale ng Naga into late game. So Azir and Kindred, they're not really looking for fights like this one.
There we go. Chains will not
Very
actually
close.
proc onto Fade right there, but Calculated, look at this guy. Just putting a lot of pressure onto Fade in that mid lane. Though Fade, you know, he found some opening to actually gap close that CS, which was around 10 a while ago. Now he's only losing for like 5 right now, and he actually did not fully recall onto his base. He's kind of respecting the fact that Calculated will just fast pushes, and then he'll miss like 1 or 2 waves when he goes back to that mid lane.
Yeah, that's true. So things still looking very even, and like I said, Naga still wants to scale into late game. Yung naghahanap na talaga ng laban dito, yung bot lane actually, si Luxury at saka si Akarane, to get the revenge against this annoying Gen V on the Jinx. But aside from this bot lane, you know, Azir and Kindred, they're pretty chill right now. You know, maybe a couple of ganks here and there, but all they want, you know, is to get this Azir into that late game so that he can deal the damage that he needs. But Colette actually looking for a fight.
Ultimate. There's the knock-up onto Sun Z. He has his own ultimate, but the Sun connects. No, what a stand united by this cannon. And now it's a collapse onto the members of Naga Esports. Look at Colette. He has to last this fight, but that's not going to last him for long, as Akarane is the only one left standing here for the bottom lane. Luxor was able to flash out, but double kill gonna be given there for the hands of Genbi, and they are now pinging for that Dragon. Naga did not expect that to happen. What a play there, coming in from Cannon with the ultimate being given on the Sun Team, prolonging his life.
Yeah, great play there coming in from Empire X. Great response as well. Tamsu comes in just the right time, you know, anticipating that bot lane gank and bot lane pressure. They get this Mountain Drake, and man, is that gonna hurt for the rest couple of minutes, you know, in this game, because they're gonna get true damage onto turrets. And looking at the composition actually of Empire X here, they can actually do a lot of split pushing. You have Shen and Graves, you know, they're pretty threatening in solo, or at least alone. So you can actually put them in a 1-3-1 situation or a 1-0-4 situation where either Shen or Graves, you know, can separate from the rest of their team. And looking at the effects of Mountain Drake right now, you can see on the screen that deals 10 or 20, 30% additional damage as true damage to epic monsters and towers, and then plus 50 if you have the mark of the Elder Dragon. So if this game reaches late, which I'm assuming it will, we're gonna see a lot of pain coming in, you know, from the true damage of that Mountain Drake coupled with the mark of the Elder Dragon.
You're gonna be seeing towers which are built with stone look like
melt, you know,
yeah,
literally
like,
melt, made of water. They'll just literally melt. And you know, the next
Water
buff
doesn't
is
melt,
Mountain
though, dude.
again. So,
oh, wow.
you know, the
Okay.
RN Jesus is just blessing Empire X right now. They definitely want to have, you know, domination or control over this bot side and get, you know, consecutive Mountain Drakes so that they can contest the siege comp of Naga. Because if you can deny all of these Mountain Drakes from Naga, you're effectively denying, you know, the amplified siege potential they could possibly get from that buff. So it's really helpful for them to gain a lot of control over this bot lane. Keep using that teleport and ult from Cannon, you know, to keep the rest of Gulet's pressure off of that side.
They really can't amplify fire their damage.
Dude, stop it. You tried way too hard there.
Yeah, no, it sounded better in my head, but you know.
Yeah, a lot of things sound better in our head, and then, you know, when you say it in front of like 100, several people, they're like,
thousands, man.
yeah, thousands of people. You're like, well, that didn't work out so well.
Well, you know, try until you succeed.
Yeah, I'll humor you. Yeah,
Yeah.
fire damage.
Yeah, but
that's
speaking of fire though, Naga is flickering by this much because wait, you can't really see my fingers, guys, but,
Yeah, but
it's like I'm
by
like showing
this-
very
by
little
that much,
because they have only
yeah.
like 1
Yeah.
point. So this is a very crucial game for them, and
Yeah,
AEX look to actually get back after that initial first blood that Naga did against Sun Z, which went into the hands of Colette, though he hasn't, you know, used that advantage yet.
Yeah.
So we'll have to just have to find out when he'll use this Kindred, who already has that Blood Razor in his arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, first blood for Kindred, you don't really see the effect immediately because Kindred's not an early game. Well, as much as I want to say she's not an early game jungler, she kind of is in a way.
She can,
but
if you build her with warriors and champions.
yeah. But I mean, if you compare a first blood on a Kindred to Graves, for example, you'd feel the effect of a Graves first blood way more than you would on Kindred. So you wouldn't exactly see a huge impact. But again, it is a bonus for Kindred. So you know what I find kind of interesting? Maokai equips a Sunfire Cape, but he's made of wood. So, like, doesn't that hurt?
Well,
Like,
he's
like
using,
you're using it.
I believe he's using the Totemic Maokai, which is like fireproof wood, maybe.
Ah, all right. We can invent stuff, I guess, you know. But on a classic Maokai, I mean, you know, for the sake of the game, I'll wear this Sunfire Cape. But
Maokai initially is like a demented tree guy.
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, he's demented.
So I guess we can assume that he has this like magical aura that prevents him from being burned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or something like that. So, man, wouldn't that be great in Pokemon if you could enchant your Charizard to be immune to water?
Or if you're gonna put it to Maokai,
Yeah, like a bug type or something.
who was the
What?
the tree Pokemon in Crystal, the one that's in your way?
I forgot.
Like Sudowoodo.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. If you could enchant it, like, I'm sure if you met Maokai, you'd be like, dude, you gotta tell me your secret.
Oh, here comes Garclay going in, baits out the ultimate here for Fade, and now here comes Tamsu. He's not gonna carry more from that ultimate. Actually misses the collateral damage, and here comes Colette from the sidelines, gonna go in, slowing him down, but the standing light from Tamsu will push away Colette's advances there as they get the catch onto Garclay there. He still has his flash right up Flash ultimate from Sunzi actually clutch saves his teammate right there as the members of Naga were rotating into that mid-side area. But in the bottom lane, Genvi is going to be happy with 143. He actually was opened up to get more CS against his ADR counterpart as he went to the top lane, mid lane rather, to provide some support. But he was a little bit too late to that party.
Yeah, man, so much clutch actually in those few number of seconds there. The flash from Calculated was just in time to dodge the pop from the ult of Maokai there, so he would have died in that situation, which would have been really bad for him. But looking at the goal right now, it actually looks still quite even, although it did swing slightly onto the side of Empire X because of that engage.
Yeah, especially from the... Oh my goodness, Sunzi! You're gonna get embraced by Naga Esports, and Naga are getting happy with that one. 4v5 situation. Dragon is still not up, and Genvi on the retreat as he sees the members of Naga coming in, even uses his own chompers there to at least stop them from engaging upon his area. Now we do see the Luxury KDA right here. He is 64% kill participation for the side of Naga, so he's a very active ADR.
Yeah, and actually, Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds. We have to take note that Suzaku does not have teleport right now. Yeah. So if there's any play to be made at this bot lane, then it could be pretty scary because the TP advantage will create a 5v4 situation if they do decide to fight down there. And Mountain Drake for Empire X again will seriously be, just don't let it happen, Naga. Naga should really plan out this next few seconds well. And I'm not sure if they're going to be going for the Dragon immediately. This bot lane is pushing in favor of Naga Esports right now.
Naga do have that initiate potential with the ultimate from Luxuria as well as Suzaku's two advance. So I think they can actually go in as a 5-man group. Without the teleport, put Suzaku. Oh wait, hold that thought. Fade here. Gargulate going in. There's the Ignite, and he will just be able to, well, fade away with that Sigil of Malice, and Fade is not going to be happy with that one.
Yeah.
He was actually BM'd a little bit there, but Gargulate, so he's like walking away a little bit, and then, oh, you're not going to survive that, man.
I mean, that was pretty poor mechanical play there from Fade. He could have easily,
he choked a little
shuffled out of there, but yeah, he did choke. Recalled as the Ignite took him down, and a free Mountain Drake, just like that, again, coming in for Empire X.
20%.
20% true damage now to objectives like turrets and to the future Dragons and Barons. And the next Dragon is going to be an Infernal Drake. So, man, if all of these successive Dragons go over to Empire X and then they get the mark, that's just going to be hell for Naga right now.
Yeah, and to some degree, you can actually think of Empire X as also like a siege comp because of the range from this...
Genvi.
There you go, thank you.
Genvi's a freaking turret right now with his 20% true damage.
And he already has a Runa's Hurricane, and then he's going to follow up with an Infinity Edge. So that's a lot of raw damage output that you can actually chug on a tower or throw at the tower, and the tower was just like, oh, you have like 20% penetration to me or extra damage to me. Well, damn.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt the turrets, which will melt, like we said. Especially with those two Mountain Drakes that they have already. So looking at the turrets, still none taken so far. So Naga not extremely behind just yet, although we will start to see the effects of the Mountain Drake as the game progresses. We'll see if Naga can make any proactive moves of their own. Like we said, still things aren't so bad for Naga because they are looking to scale into late game. Yeah. So that's when we'll start to see Azir hurt a lot more, especially once he finishes that Nashor's Tooth.
Naga actually not opting to go for a Void, for a Rift Herald rather.
Yeah, so they did not, especially since Kindred, I guess, is not really, or does not pack enough of a punch to help out Maokai, and would be risky since Graves and Shen would really hurt if they did try to duel out around the Rift Herald area. So a bit too risky, I guess, if they decided to take that Rift Herald.
Now checking out the CS in the top lane, Suzaku with 200.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness, Fade for the second time. He gets eaten by the collateral damage and the fire, or the red buff for Tamzu will execute him with the burn. As in the bottom lane, it looks like to be another engage here by the three members of Naga Esports. They've been forcing this bottom lane too much, and it has not bear fruit just yet against Empire X.
Man, all the burn has been placed on Fade this game. He's been cursed with some kind of fire god. And oh my gosh!
Goodness, there's a case. Two-man Glacial Fissure coming in from Akari, but that will not be the case. As look at this in the back, like Jemmy just going in ham onto the members of Naga Esports. Let's gonna prolong his life with that Lamb's Respine, but it's not gonna be enough as this bot tier 1 is not gonna be long for this world. It goes down. That was a 3-4-0 with the bottom tier 1 going down, and Empire X, you can feel it. They are just reaping the benefits against Naga Esports.
Yeah, man, just an insane play there. If we take a look at the replay right now, so Akarain totally, you know, discrediting the damage coming from, by the way, two very painful AD carries right now. That's a Graves and a Jinx. So the ult, even with the Unbreakable, still does hurt, and they totally melt Akarain as way as well. It's as if Mountain Drake does true damage to champions as well, but it doesn't.
The bigger part there is that he actually did not put out this Unbreakable early on.
Yeah,
he was taking out too much. He was taking in too much necessary damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was saving it for the ult coming in from Jinx, but it totally was not worth it because he took way too much damage from both Graves and Jinx in the process, and so they're gonna be losing a turret. The first one, well, actually not even the first one. They lost both bot lane turrets. And that's really bad because we were hoping that...
Oh no!
Wait!
Fade actually, Shurima shuffles away, followed by the ultimate there of Genvi. It will not execute him, but Suzuku is in no man's land here. He still has his flash as well as that vengeful maelstrom. Just, you know, tagging in as much damage as possible. Here comes Colette with the 3-man dancing arrows, but it's not enough to actually execute the members of Empire X, and they will be able to get away from that one without losing any of their roster members. And look at that, Naga are bleeding away from this fight. They tried to re-engage, but it did not work well for them.
I mean, in one replay, that's a 4,000 gold lead already. So they really swung the game in their favor. And like we were saying earlier in the pick and ban phase, sinabi ko na kanina, although we had some doubts about Empire X's composition, if Tamsu could help the rest of the team to snowball, then they would definitely have a chance of winning this game. And that's exactly what they did. They countered the Siege comp with their own Mountain Drakes. They snowballed this Graves and this Genvi, who are very painful right now, and they have a really, really clear chance of winning this game. The only question is, can they end the game? And that's where things are. I mean, Naga Esports has had this historical sickness of, you know, not being able to end games properly. And so, can they play from behind? But that's a much worse situation because obviously it's much easier to end the game when you're in the lead, but they're already behind right now, so things are looking scary for them. And Fade hasn't looked so good, you know, in the past 20-30 minutes of this game. He's been failing mechanically, he's been burned twice by both Tamsu and Calculated, so we have to see them, you know, bouncing back and maybe slow down the pace of the game so Azir can be more significant, you know, as the game progresses.
The question is, can they slow this pace down as that 20% from the Split Elemental is gonna at least make it easier for Empire X to, you know, if they go in as a group, chip in damage onto towers slowly but surely, because there is safety among numbers, plus there's safety in range from Genvi being on that you know, that range, that extended range form. Colette here actually using his own ultimate, you know, fearing the damage of Calculated on that live lock. Tamsu going in from some extra hurt onto the members of Naga Esports, but Suzuku, he gets spotted out there, and will they engage onto him with a Twisted Advance? We'll have to see. Yes, they do. Here comes Calculated from the sidelines, actually backs off as he sees the Glacial Fissure right there. But look at this, Tamsu is tanking all of the damage from Naga Esports from the Sand Behind as well as that Wild Growth. He is still surviving here. Faithful mission might pop out there and get the kill. But yo, look at this, Calculated in the backline, just hamming onto the members of Naga Esports. Fade gets the poke there, but they are still going at it. This is a 4v5, ladies and gentlemen. He gets the kill there, also Calculated, but it doesn't matter. Cannon is soaking up so much damage, and he's stealing out the DPS that it needs to execute the members of Naga. There's Fade with a Shurima shuffle away, but that will be a 4-for-4 trade with Genvi, actually a 3-4-4, with Genvi getting the solo dragon and Empire X with a 4v5.
Yeah, so actually, as much as that was a one fight for Empire X, they chose the wrong place to fight. First of all, why were you guys staying there for such a long time, especially in an area where Azir had a hell of a time? He got a triple kill from that one fight, and he already completed a lot of items. He has the Nashor's Tooth as well as the Needlessly Large Rod, because when you fight in this area, it gives Azir so much time to deal damage using his soldiers, and that's the last thing that Empire X wants. So if we take a look at the fight right now, first of all, Calculated abilities are on cooldown, and I think Empire X stayed here way too long. They overestimated the damage that they could do, and Suzaku was at the front line. He was absorbing all the damage, and Azir is just, you know, poking them with his stick and gets a triple kill in the process. And really, that was just the wrong place for Empire X to choose a fight. If you want to fight Naga Esports, it's when you can easily lock down this Azir and this Luxuria. But the entire fight, Luxuria and Azir were just at the back line, and you gave Naga everything.
Oh no, Tamsu actually dashes over the wall, and he will get caught by the embracing hands of Naga Esports. He did not expect that one to happen, and he will just be an unhappy Graves right there. They look to re-engage here as it is a 4v5 situation. Will they go for a Baron though? I don't think that's the case. They're gonna go in, forces the flash out of Genji. Heal does not help him to actually back off this one. He's gonna try to at least re-engage with the help from the Stand United from Cannon, but it was just too much damage output from the side of Naga. And will they start this Baron?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That would be very risky, but like I said, even with a 4,000 gold lead, I question Empire X. Could they end the game? And clearly, they're still making some mistakes, making these unnecessary fights, and the Infernal Drake did go over to Empire X, FYI. So they have true damage to objectives, 20%, and then they have 8% increased ability power and attack damage. So, in short, they hurt everything. They hurt champions, they hurt turrets, they hurt the epic monsters, they hurt everything right now.
They're hurting the hearts of Naga.
Yeah, exactly. But Naga did get a sliver of hope from that last fight. I mean, now at least, yung Naga, may image na sila kung paano sila dapat mag-team fight. They know that Fade and Luxuria have to be at the back line. They know that Suzaku and Kulit should be the ones who are taking most of the damage, especially since they're tanky and have the Lance Respite. If you know how a team fight should look like, replicate it in your future team fights. Put down that vision and avoid getting caught by Calculated and Tamsu so you can get yourself back in the game.
But you have to do know that one fight was a 4v5, and they still have yet to put into account Genvi's damage output, which is gonna be painful right now with Last Whisper, Runan's Hurricane, and an Infinity Edge. So he's just gonna be ripping through even the tankiest member of Naga Esports.
Yeah, I wouldn't be super confident right now though as Naga, because keep in mind they do have the Infernal Drake buff, so that will add some additional damage for them. Plus, Genvi is just in a really wonderful spot right now. But then again, Azir is again starting to scale. He has finished that Rylai's, and Kulit has also finished his Hex, Runans, and the Blood Razor as well. So there is a considerable amount of damage coming off of Naga Esports right now. And Empire X cannot allow the team fight to happen the same way it did before, where Azir just gets to poke them all with their sticks and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and it's gonna be on to, I believe, Calculated to make something happen here for Empire X. I mean, you already said here, when he's on a LeBlanc, he gets, magically onto the important targets for their opposing team. So he has to do something with this LeBlanc to start it off for Empire X, or at least follow up immediately when it looks a bit too shaky for Empire X to, make an even playing ground for both teams.
Yeah, because the problem, kapag titignan natin yung composition, Naga actually has a much easier way to say go. The only thing you have to do is for... Oh, wait. Tamsu...
And they say go. Oh, wow. He's going to force the flash away. Actually get the catch on to Calculate right there. There's a secondary Stand United from this shed. And it will prolong the life of Calculate for a few more seconds right there as Cannon is soaking up so much damage. Where is Genvi? He is too far away. There's Azir Fade just going in again with the poke of the soldiers. Just hammering onto the members here of Empire X. Tamsu. Oh! 3-man Empress Divide coming out of Fade right there. And they are just wiping the floor of Empire X with the blood and the dead carcasses of their own side. Genvi for the second time. Where the hell were you?
And the Emperor has returned, ladies and gentlemen. Fade is finally making his way back into this game. First of all, I don't know what Empire X was doing. They're starting to get careless with their positioning. They're moving around the map quite carelessly and completely underestimating the fact that Naga Esports have a crazy amount of engage. You've got that speed boost plus the root coming in from Maokai, and then the survivability if ever something goes wrong with the Lancer's fight. So Empire X cannot afford to be this careless when it comes to positioning, especially when your main carry, being Genvi, is like halfway around the world, not knowing what's going on. And, his ult was even useless because Lancer's fight was up. So that can't happen, and Fade with a beautiful ult there, bringing everyone in before they can escape. And, Naga looking much more decisive right now. That's what they needed. And actually, they've evened out the gold. From 4,000 gold, it's back to even. And this is anyone's game.
And with that, Baron buff actually being taken as well by Naga Esports. The next one's going to be an Infernal Drake here. So if they get that one, that's a 2-for-2 in terms of the dragons. I mean, 2 Infernal Drakes, 2 Earth Elementals. Though they do have the respect, of course, right now. The team fight potential of Naga Esports. There's the Red Dragon being taken, but here comes the engage coming in from Naga Esports. They go in, but Akron gets popped immediately right off the bat right there. But Cannon not going to be taking any more damage as he tries to go away. Uses the ultimate onto his teammate. It's going to be Tamzu. And Naga Esports are actually on their retreat right here. Nice ultimate they're coming out of Fate. Will actually pin down Cannon right on from that top lane side into this Dragon Pit right here. But the Ignite from Calculated gets the execute onto Colette. That's going to be a 3-for-4 in favor of Naga. Make that a clean ace here, or an ace for Naga Esports as Fade actually pinpoints the positioning of Calculated as he was recalling right there.
I believe that was an unofficial Quadra at that point. Baron was taken by Naga Esports. So first of all, we didn't take note of that before the Dragon fight. So even if the double Drake, I mean the double Infernal and the double Mountain was given over to Empire X, Naga was able to totally win that fight with another great ult coming in from Fade. And then they were able to take a couple of turrets. So now the turrets are even, they have the Baron. Now the only contested buff is going to be the Mark. So the last thing, or rather the only thing Naga needs to do right now is to control their waves, make sure that Fade gets to do what he does best, stay in the back line, and then Shurima shuffle everyone, and then deny the mark of the Elder Dragon from Empire X. As long as they can keep Fade alive and deny the mark of the Elder Dragon, I'm pretty sure they can win this game. Yeah. Empire X have been pretty shaky for the past half of this game, and I don't know if they can bounce back.
Gen V did not expect that one. Look at that combo from Fade. Just
great job.
Yeah, just erasing him from the face of Summer's Rift.
Medyo naano na siguro siya sa traffic, you know. It's the car lag, if there's such a thing. And now he's finally awakened. The Emperor has returned. And they are sieging this
There's
nation.
jet lag when you ride an airplane.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, there's also a thing as car lag.
Oh, there's the code, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and wow, Fade actually just died there. I don't know how. But that's going to be the code for the awesome Mineski Yume bundle. So be sure to enter that into the client. We have to get back into the game.
And Colette, very low in HP, flashes over the wall, but gets embraced by Gen V. And look at this, Luxuria in the backline just going in. Cannon's the only one surviving right here. He gets stunned right there, but he has plenty of HP to actually survive against the members of Naga Esports. He's trying to get the execute onto Akron, misses the taunt, but still gets the slash onto the Braum right there. And they're trying to just get the follow-up here onto Cannon. Gen V not going to provide any more support as Cannon is going to be left to swim with the fishes right there in the river. He's going to go down, and glub, glub, glub as Suzaku as well as Luxuria get that one for Naga Esports. Look at that. They already have that 1,000 gold advantage against Empire X.
Man, so not sure what happened there, but for some reason Fade was easily caught. And that's the last thing that Naga wants to happen. Because at this point, Azir is the most important champion of their team composition. He's the one dealing damage, and he's the only one who can reach Gen V unless Suzaku flanks. So they have to make sure that that doesn't happen again, that Fade's the one who gets caught.
Yeah.
Actually, that's their main hope. Empire X has to be able to find openings where they can engage ASAP onto Fade, just like that. There. So, good job, Empire X. You did exactly what I just said. That's exactly what they need to do for the rest of the minutes of the game, aside from killing the Nexus. It's to kill Fade.
It's still anyone's game here. But the composition of Naga looking to be a very big wall for Empire X to actually climb over. Can they hold the door, or will Naga be able to open that up? You guys know where I got that one. No spoilers. Alright, so Colette here gonna be actually going in with the help of Tanzu onto Cannon with the ultimate right there. There's the Lannister Spite, not gonna be used by the side of Naga, but Cannon does have a Guardian Angel for himself. He's tanking quite a bit of damage, but look at this, Gen V actually poking at Luxuria right there. Luxuria flashes over and saves himself from that one, but Cannon is still in the backline, though he is going onto Akron, which is a non-valuable target here. Suzaku gonna smash in onto this top laner. They have, well, they're pretty tanky themselves, but they get the catch onto both ADRs. He pops the Guardian Angel, but Calculated is still going in onto Suzaku, but they have to fear Fade as he is coming in hot with a lot of soldiers in his pockets, looking to poke, but he's just going to rotate to that bottom lane to stop the wave from pushing in to their bot tier 3.
Yeah, so really messy fight right there, actually. I mean, even if it was 4-for-3 in favor of Empire X. I can't really say that Empire X won much, except for probably that mid lane turret. So they still need to fix those team fights because they shouldn't be giving away that many kills. They should ideally be bursting down Fade and Luxuria and then transitioning that into another objective. So far, the turrets are in favor of Empire X, and with that many dragons, we are now approaching the final mark of the Elder Dragon.
There you go. He has shown his insignia, his symbol, and will they get it? Get this one? Empire X will benefit the most from getting this Elder Dragon here.
Imagine multiplying all those 4 dragons by what? It's like 50% increase. So you get like 16%. You increase that by 50%. And then you increase 20% by 50%. And you have that much damage against champions and
towers.
And that's just insane right now. But again, Fade is the hope. Fade is the emperor of Naga right now. And he is really the one that will save Naga Esports from defeat. They just need to be able to keep him safe. Right now, it's smart. Canon is shifting the pressure up here in this top lane that will keep Naga busy so that they can shift their attention to the mark of the Elder Dragon, which is up right now. There is vision coming up from Naga Esports right now. And we'll see if they decide to do anything about that. Suzaku is in top lane to try and push this wave up. He does have teleport though, if ever Empire X decides to make a move
will
onto
Naga
this dragon.
actually trade this Baron for an Elder?
It's not worth it. They're
paying it. They're paying it right now. They're gonna start
oh my
this
god,
Baron.
they're gonna trade.
Why are they gonna allow this? This is a 4 dragon up Empire X. If they get this Elder Dragon, it might be more. They actually use the ultimate from Genvi, but it will miss by a quarter inch right there. Almost gets themselves a Baron and an Elder Dragon. That would have been so much swag points for Genvi right there.
Okay,
but
so
still.
Okay, first of all, wow, Naga actually decided to surrender the Elder Dragon in exchange for a Baron. I don't find that worth it, and I think most will agree with me. Again, the effects of Elder Drake that deals true damage over 3 seconds equal to 45 plus 45 per stack of the Elemental Dragon buff. It empowers their current Dragon marks, increasing their effects by 50%. So, in short, Empire X hurts like hell right now. But Naga decided to take this Baron buff. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But again, this all falls down to the ability of the teams to use the objective efficiently and effectively.
Basically, if you were watching Naruto, that was just like, if Naruto's annoying as one person, and then he has like Kagebushin jutsus, you know, that's like Elder Dragon right there for Empire X. Times two, man.
It's just, they amplify their damage by a lot right now. But then again, when you look at the team composition, this is all about Genvi versus Fade. It's the hyper carries and their ability to delete the champion in time. The only problem is, Genvi has assistance from freaking Infernal Drakes and the Mark of the Elder Dragon. Meanwhile, Azir doesn't really care about the Baron buff. It doesn't amplify his damage against heroes. So we need to see how these teams will use these buffs effectively. Right now, Suzaku is using it to split push here at this top lane. Meanwhile, Cannon is mirroring that by split pushing at this bot lane. The Baron versus Mountain Drakes and Elder Drakes, definitely by far the Elder Drake will deal more damage than the Baron buff, I guess, because of the insane amplification. But we'll see how it goes. There's the TP coming in from Cannon to defend this top lane.
Yes, they respect the damage output from Suzuku with the help from this Baron buff, but in the mid lane, it's going to be important whoever starts this fight and how Empire X will actually use their Elder Dragon. He is just hurting. That is what the true damage is all about, yo. He has the Guardian Angel running away from Cannon right now, gets the taunt in, and look at this. Empire X are gonna go in ham on Suzuku right here, but he does have his teleport out there as it wasn't countered by the taunt, though the Elder Dragon has now timed out for the side of Empire X, so they were not able to get anything out of that one. But still, I believe Naga do have their Baron buff, but they did not get anything out of that, as well as they feared Empire X's Elder Dragon.
Split pushing is no longer an option for Naga kasi wala na silang teleport. Unlike Cannon, who still has an ult up for use. So if they decide to go 1-4, they're gonna be splitting up the entire team of Naga. I'm expecting Empire X to go for a 1-4 right now if they want to be able to efficiently use this Mark of the Elder Dragon, which has already expired.
No jokes here from Empire X though. I mean, in terms of itemizations, Cannon has gone from full frontal tanker here than you would have thought before when you would go with a Zeroth Portal or the Banner of Command, which actually helps your split push potential even if you leave the lane.
Yeah. So I guess we overhyped the securing of the Elder Dragon because anyway...
They were too afraid to use it anyways.
Empire X could not use it. There was a lot of wave clear coming in from Naga Esports. With the help of the Baron buff, they were able to deny whatever power play Empire X could have gotten from that Elder Dragon. So at least that's what happened. And the turrets are still even. Basically nothing has happened. Gold remained even, turrets remained the same, and Baron and Mark of the Elder Dragon will respawn in a few minutes. So I can imagine this is going to be a pretty long game until someone chokes. So we'll have to see, or at least if someone makes a really good play.
Calculated there with the dash, looks actually to get a pick off on the members here of Naga, though no follow-up just yet. I think he was fearing that there was a possible twisted advance and then he's gonna get blown to smithereens.
Yeah, because the thing about 40 minutes is that it's officially the stage of Azir. So like we were saying, Azir and Kindred love this part. This is the late game. This is where they rule, literally. So, and when we look at the team compositions of Naga compared to Empire X, Naga, like we said, they can engage way easier with this Maokai plus the ult of Luxuria and the Shurima Shuffle from Azir. Unlike Empire X, for them to be able to engage, they're relying on Naga either making a mistake or on Cannon landing a taunt to Azir, which is very difficult since there's so much peel already coming in from Naga. So Empire X, they're in a bad situation right now because they can't engage onto Azir that easily.
Sneaky spot here though, coming out of Calculated, actually going in onto Fade. Fade is very low in HP, here he goes in, but Fade has a Zonius right now. Will the members of Naga actually go in for his rescue? The answer to that is no. There's the ultimate onto Calculated by Cannon, and they look to re-engage onto a 4v5 Naga situation right here. They are just looking for a perfect flash with the taunt right there for Cannon, and Naga are on the retreat. Calculated dashes over the wall to look for more targets right now, and he is hungry for kills. Make this an advantage for Empire X. He looks to go in, but there was too much protect there for Luxuria. He's just gonna back off, but now look at this. Empire X are knocking onto the mid lane base. Are Calculated. He's actually baiting out the aggression from Naga Esports, and Empire X are gonna break down that mid tier 3 and then the inhibitor. This is just a complete and total disaster right there for Naga as their base is being blown up to smithereens. One mid lane inhibitor has gone down, and it looks to go for that bottom lane inhibitor. We'll have to see if Naga will be able to at least counter this out. Yes, there's no Elder Dragon, but that is still 2 Earth Elemental buffs that is in the hands of Empire X. Here comes the re-engage of Naga Esports. Cannon gets caught out. Accurate is soaking up damage with that unbreakable 2-man taunt from this cannon right here. But Calculated is very low in HP, and Azir is just wreaking havoc into the members of Empire X. They have to back off and respect this team fight potential that Naga have. And Cannon, even if though he dashes away, he will not escape the slow, the CCs, and the wrath of Naga. But Naga have lost so much from that one. Mid inhibitor as well as bottom inhibitor has gone down.
First mistake. How the heck did Fade get caught by Calculated? That was seriously weird.
Fade was right in this area, and Calculated did not get spotted out by any wards because it was just total darkness.
Yeah, you see, that's the problem. Naga should not be allowing Fade to Dora around this map. That's like the last thing that you want right now. This is your hyper carry we're talking about, the most important carry of your team. For him to disappear because, I mean, look at it. Because one champion died, you gave up 2 inhibitors. So the cost was just freaking insane.
Yeah, and Calculated is back at it again with the clutches on to Colette right there. But he is just putting pressure right now as Naga break down that mid tier 3. He's on the sidelines. He is not spotted out by any wards again. And Naga are just going to back off, happy with that mid tier 3 one. And will they bait out that twisted advance? No, Suzuku not going to do it for the second time. He knows better. And Baron is up. Oh,
TP.
Elder Dragon.
TP coming in.
Here they go. Colette is very low in HP. Here comes Cannon. He is just a bit too far away from his teammates, but he's very tanky right now. Calculated goes in. There's the Lancer Spike coming out of this Kindred. But look at this. They are just being stapled right now to where they are by the members of Empire X.
Oh my gosh.
And Genvi from the backline going in. Triple kill. Looking out the Suzuku. He pops the Guardian Angel. Looks for the quad jump. And will Naga Esports give this pentakill as a gift. Never mind, calculated. You're just gonna steal that one. And Empire X have broken down Naga Esports 4-0. They look onto Luxuria.
Oh
He
my
gets popped like a
gosh.
pimple. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be a 2-0 in favor of Empire X, getting themselves 7 points ahead of Mineski and way down ahead against Naga Esports. What a game coming in from Empire X.
GG, well played, and Empire X finally able to finish that game. 4 dragons, and may I say, the best dragons you could have ever gotten. I swear, RNG just blessed these guys like to the max. You got 2 Mountain Drakes, you got 2 Infernal Drakes, and Gen V just went insane in that last fight. So, great call coming in from Empire X to have that TP come in. Even if Cannon on Shen was not able to lock down Azir, who cares? Gen V's range was way there on point. He was able to take out most of the members, gets pretty much, I think, a triple or quadra kill, and totally melts them. I mean, all of this started when Gen V and Sunzi were just totally comfortable in that bot lane. They were able to get a good CS lead, they got great items, and just to take a look at the damage dealt right now, we can see that it was definitely Gen V who had the highest damage dealt, 45,000 damage.
Yeah, but then if you look at it from a different perspective, the one that actually that made it come back for the side of Empire X was calculated.
Yes, it was that kill. The assassination. I mean, I don't even know if I can reward Calculated as much as I should be getting mad at Naga for letting that happen to Fade. Fade shouldn't have been extending that far without vision, especially considering that he was the main damage dealer. Sa lahat ng mga solo queue players dyan, if you have a precious carry, protect it. Put wards around, even as yourself. If you were the Azir in that situation, you shouldn't have been pushing that far forward. If you were, you should have put down your Scrying Orb and maybe a couple of wards down as well. Never allowed that to happen. Because of what Fade did and because of what Naga allowed to happen, you lost 2 inhibitors and pretty much the game after that. Just way too much pressure given onto themselves from that mistake. And GG well played to Empire X. They showed pretty good synergy. I mean, there were a couple of reckless mistakes here and there which allowed things to swing into Naga's favor. But again, Naga still trying to find, that synergy. I still think they need better shot calling, especially with a composition which you would think has an easier way to engage. They really need to find a better way of engaging in these team fights and making those better decisions. I mean, during the mid-game, they looked good, especially in that mid-lane clash where they were able to get a decisive mid-lane turret take and a decisive team fight lead. But after that one shining moment, it always seems to fade.
I think, in my opinion, Naga actually tunnel vision from that one. They focused too much on the mid lane, did not care about anywhere else on the map, and it was pure darkness that when Calculated saw that Fade was, oh hey, no teammates.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
So great job from Empire X. They're now 7 points in the standing, and they, like Azure I said, they have passed Mineski, who are 6 points. They are now top 4, and if they can keep this going, potentially make it their first time into the playoffs and into Rampage 2016, which will be happening next month. So I do look forward to seeing Empire X and their performance, and I'm hoping Naga can continue to find that synergy, as these weeks progress. It still is quite early, and congrats ka pala sa nanalo ng bundle, the Mineski Yume bundle.
You guys.
So don't leave just yet, because we're going to be interviewing Sun Z, who was the Lulu support of Empire X. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Thank you again. I'm Amplifier.
And of course, I'm Aserai. And this is...
Go ahead.
Let's do this first. And this is, of course, the Pro Gaming Series 2016 Summer Split, brought to you by our official sponsor, Baco's Energy Drink. Drive your energy. So we'll be right back for the interview with Sunzi. There's the knockoff onto Sunzi. Has his own ultimate, but the Sun connects. Though what a stand united by this cannon. And now it's a collapse onto the members of Naga Esports. Look at Colette. He has the fight, but not stuck in Loud Sim for long, as Akarin is the only one left standing here for the bottom lane. Luxor was able to flash out, but double kill gonna be good. The Sunzi, you're gonna get embraced by Naga Esports, and Naga are gonna be happy with that one. 4v5 situation. Hold that thought. Fade here. Garglet going in, there's the Ignite, and he will just be able to, fade away with that Sigil of Malice, and Fade is not going to fade for the second time. He gets eaten by that collateral damage and the fire, or the red buff, where Tamzu will execute.